the monitor. I can't remember the day when I was alone.
Okay, welcome again, everyone. My name is Deborah Hicks. For those of you who are performing today, you will check in with me, and I'll be here lingering by the stage most of the day. We're going to get a special treat. Our first performance will be offered by the beloved Tibetan singer Tshering Lodeu. He has captured thousands of hearts around the world as the lead singer for the Oscar-nominated Nepali movie entitled Himalaya. His magical voice carries deep nuances of the rich Tibetan lineage that can be felt in the simplest of notes to the most complex of melodies. He trained at the Tibetan Institute for Performing Arts and has performed many, many times for His Holiness the Dalai Lama. We could not be more fortunate to have him here again this year to kick off our entertainment. So without further ado, please welcome the internationally renowned Tshering Lodeu.
Testile, Yvonne, and Garden of Thousand Buddha. I was here last year and had an opportunity to sing, and I'm back again this year. But this year I'm going to stay back in Montana, so I'll be one of Montanan. And I've decided to move down to Montana in July. So I was in Butte for the Folk Alive Festival, and I totally fell in love again, and I decided to come back and stay here and serve the garden, serve the people, and serve the community. And first I want to offer these instruments, just a short part that I'm going to blow or beat the drums and all these things, just to offer to this land and the people. So it won't be fun, but something different. So enjoy it. Such a hola. So now I'm going to blow these three youngest brother, elder, and the eldest. So I'm just going to blow today, like just give you how it sounds. Okay. Okay. Now I will sing two songs. The first one will be the classical Tibetan song, and then I'm going to sing a Tibetan opera. And I'm going to play the soundtrack and then sing on that. So hope you will enjoy. Thank you. And this number, I have just composed this last year, and it's not released yet, but it's gonna soon release. So this is an offering song again to Rinpoche, and this is called My Root Lama, Lama Cheno. I want to play this little bit with the instrument, and then I will just sing a cappella. Hope you will like it. Check. Lama Keno, Lama Keno, Tinshin Tawin, Lama Keno Ni. Lama Keno, Lama Keno, Tinshin Tawin, Lama Keno Ni. Lama Keno, Lama Keno, Tinshin Tawin, Lama Keno Ni. Okay, that's an offer. So I'm just want to try this with a little bit of a cappella. So if you want to join in, I'll be happy. I just want to sing like Lama Cheno, Lama Cheno, Tinjen Sawe, Lama Keno. Lama Keno, Lama Cheno, Tinchen Sawe, Lama Keno Ni. Lama Cheno, Lama Keno, Tinchen Sawe, Lama Keno Ni. Also, thank you. Now I would like to invite my friend, my very good friend, Tim. And Tim and I'm gonna share two kind of improvisation, and then I think my morning session is done. So Tim, I met him in Seattle when I came first in the United States. So he was kind of my guidance and showing me the way. And because I don't know the system, so it was quite hard to start with. And Tim and his wife, Betty, who's just standing right there. And They really helped me. And when I moved down to Montana, they drove me down from Seattle to Early direct. So thank you very much, Tim and Mom Betty, and thank you very much. That was a great support and help in a very new country. So Tim plays ditch and I sing. So well, let's see what we can bring out something today. So and also he's gonna play flute. So would you like to say something?
Sure. This first piece is in honor of Rinpoche and Julie Kajun. Julie Kajun of the Salish people who inhabit this land through a grant with the Kellogg Foundation and the assistance of Gary Strautsos and Paul Thompson put together a project called Remembering the Songs. And this is a piece from Remembering the Songs. It's a Dene piece. It's called I Am Walking, and it honors all indigenous people who have been removed from their culture and their land. And this I Am Walking is an upbeat piece saying we are going home.
So this piece, we just tried this in Canada, in Toronto, oh no, sorry, Vancouver, August 3rd, right? So we're just gonna offer this again with the ditch, singing bowl, and singing load and a singing bell. So enjoy it. Thank you.
Roberta Anderson is going to introduce me, and then so I'm going to introduce her.
Hi, everybody. I'm so pleased to be welcoming and introducing some couple of people who are not only dear friends of many of ours, but they're also really fabulous and widely acclaimed musicians here in the Valley, in the Bitterroot Valley. Deborah Hicks is our media coordinator here at the Garden, and Awam Sangha member. She performs with her wonderful husband, Jason Hicks,
Who's not here?
who's coming soon. They've won quite a few awards. They've been voted by fans as the best musicians of the Bitterroot Valley for the last 8 years in a row in the Valley Republic's annual readership poll, Best of the Bitterroot. Huey Lewis performed on their second studio album, Universe, and the group is rehearsing new material for their upcoming 2014 album release. So please give it up for Joan Zen.
Well, I do have a few announcements to make while the band gets completely adjusted. We, this morning, for those of you who were not with us, our volunteer development coordinator, a volunteer over here, Raquel, she was our development coordinator for years and years and is a wonderful Sangha member. She helped us to organize the third annual Walk a Mile for Peace, which she helped us start 3 years ago. And for those of you who were late and were unable to take part in it, she's here over at this AWAM table, holding up some buttons and some flyers here, and she can help you if you'd like to take part and walk a mile for peace around the interior and exterior of the Dhammachakra wheel of the garden here anytime today. And so we hope that you will be able to take part with us and walk a mile for peace. There's a lot of information here. She's also going to give a guided tour at 1 o'clock of the garden for those of you who have never gotten to hear the history and the significance and the meaning of the things that are in the garden. So I hope that you'll take part in that and come back and forth for music and food all throughout the day. There's a Buddha statue that is just like the ones that are on the throne walls inside the garden that we will be auctioning today. And there's a table that's directly where I'm pointing with flags kind of here at the entrance. We're raffling it off, so the raffle tickets are $5, I believe, and we'll be doing that throughout the day. I hope that you'll be here to have that. Those statues are created right here on the property and are filled with blessings and mantras, and they're quite a blessing to all of us and would be to you in your home or your garden meditation shrine. So we also have our AWAM store and many different information tables, so we hope that you will be able to take part and enjoy perusing the tables and information booths today. There are many ways that you can be involved in helping us to create the garden. There are volunteer opportunities always needed with AWAM and the garden, as well as sponsorship of one of the stupas that you see surrounding the outer walls. Those represent the enlightened mind of the Buddha. We do have a little placard that goes with your sponsorship that would be placed in front on the wall of the stupa there. And there are some Buddha sponsorship available as well. So those are $200 if you'd like to have a name of a family friend, either living or deceased, or a pet that you'd like to have remembered here at the garden. There are also landscape sponsorship opportunities, and many of us here and many people that you will meet today have taken part in sponsorship of the landscaping, the trees, the flowers, all the things that make this garden grow so beautifully are available to you to take part in. So please see one of us at the tables if you're interested in any information about how you can be a part of growing this garden of peace. And we're just going to take a moment to get ourselves set up. And then Joan Zen, we're going to do some funky soul and reggae original Dharma music. So I hope that you'll stick around and do a little dancing and listening with us. Victor, can I just get a little bit more vocal in my monitor? Oh, you got it. All right. That was a new original song we're working on for our third album, and definitely takes longer than you would think to write and record records, so stay tuned for more information on that. This next song is on our second album called Universe, and written by the drummer, my husband Jason Hicks. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
said the rain wasn't going to come today.
All right, what a perfect day. You know, all week long I've been looking at the weather forecasts and thinking, oh my goodness, the Peace Festival's going to get rained out this year. And lo and behold, look at this gorgeous, gorgeous day. Perfect temperature. Some years it's been so hot, and some years it's been too cold. And it sounds to me like today feels like it's just about right. Yeah?
Yep.
And shall be dipping in the kind, searching for answers it may never find, revelations of the self. It's got to understand the nature of this human with sunshine. Soon as on the high, living in the unburdened sky. For all of us, a warm mind just shall be thought. Swirling circles, spinning like a shot. Letting it go, funk you know. Oh, we got Jim Rogers joining us on the keyboards today. Always fortunate to have Jim Rogers. Eric Hutchins on the guitar, Phil Stempen on the bass, Jason Hicks on the drums. Really great to be here today. I'm going to do another original song for you. We always get to do cover tunes at the bars. This is a great opportunity to play some of our original music for you.
Eric is having such a good time already. He already broke a string.
That's okay. It's a great time for me to make announcements. Double duty here. So we want to thank Ron Scholl and MCAT for coming out every year for God knows how many years and doing filming. And then they put it on the MCAT Missoula Community Access Television channel, and they play it. It's a wonderful service, and Grant and the media work that they're doing, I'm sure, goes very unappreciated. So we want to say thank you to Ron and MCAT for always being so faithful and coming to the Peace Festival. And for, I think this is the second or third year in a row, we've been lucky enough to have Steve Jacobs and Victor come out with Montana Pro Audio and do the live sound for us. For many years, we pieced together all of our gear and tried to make something work, and it was very stressful for me. But I'm really grateful to them for coming out and giving you the top sound that you can hear at Caras Park for many of the events. And they're just a wonderful, wonderful team. If you are ever looking for sound work, definitely contact Steve Jacobs. Stages, lighting, everything you can imagine. And a generally nice guy. So it's probably on his business card. Sound and nice guy. Phil just said that they made him take that off his business card. So, bass and not very nice guy. No, that's not true. That's totally not true. If you haven't seen the schedule later today, we've got a lot of really great stuff coming up. We have Aikido of Missoula going to be doing a wonderful demonstration of their art for us here after we're finished, and some guest speakers, including Lama Tsomo, and of course Tuku Sangmak Rinpoche will also do some speaking for us. We have a couple of different out-of-town acts besides our Tibetan wonderful singer sitting Ludu. We have coming up today a singer-songwriter from LA, Tara J. King, who, and we also have Naked Soul as well, formerly Alma Desnuda. So I hope you'll stick with us for the entire day and evening as the sun goes down, and we'll do some dancing out here right on the grass all together. So as soon as Eric is ready, we're going to play another song that's on our Universe record, which is available on iTunes for those of you who are download friendly. This whole record we kind of wrote as a tribute to our understanding of Americans, and also our understanding, a small understanding of the Dharma and Buddhist principles, and we kind of infused the two together with some funk and soul and reggae. And so we hope that you enjoy a little bit of our Western Dharma pop music. This one's called Mother Terra, and it goes like this. Creativity's been stifled by the way we've rifled through your
I think I just saw my main man Tony walk by with his cool smile. There he is over there. Hey, brother.
I hope, is Akito of Missoula here yet? Just, everybody's here from Akito of Missoula? All right, I don't want to run too late. What time are we looking at right now? What time? All right, we got time for a couple more. Woo. All right, we're going to do another new one we've been working on for our third record, and always an evolution when you're working on new songs. So it's great to be able to play it for you here. This is a song about being reborn in a human body and having the 10 freedoms and advantages and what goes along with that, being able to practice the Dharma and find your Lama in this lifetime and make that connection. So it's called The Fortunate Life. Here in the silence you walk by. one more and then bring up the next wonderful performance and artistic expression. So stand by. Thanks so much for having us again, Peace Festival. Tukusanga Rinpoche, Namtak Khenpo, we love you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're really happy to have Aikido of Missoula joining us today. I just wanted to introduce them properly. They got all set up and ready to go. Razo Hultgren Sensei has been the chief instructor of Aikido of Missoula since 1990. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Okay, Razo Sensei has received the rank of 6th Dan from Mitsugi Satomi Shihan, Master Instructor of Aikido, direct student of Morihei Ueshiba O-Sensei, and founder of the Aikido schools of Ueshiba. I hope I'm also pronouncing all this correctly. She's an original member of the Ueshiba Juku, a designation given by Satomi Shihan to his most senior students as a sign of a direct lineage from O-Sensei through Satomi Sensei, with its responsibility to transmit the founder's Aikido principles In addition to teaching seminars around the world, Rasa Sensei teaches regularly as senior instructor at Aikido of Missoula and actively continues her own study. So now please welcome a demonstration by Aikido of Missoula.
We're very happy to be here today to participate in this Peace Festival in such a beautiful place, such a beautiful garden. Before we get started with the active part of our demonstration, I want to say a little bit about this art, Aikido. Aikido is a martial art. It's also called the Way of Harmony, and it's also called the Art of Peace. It was the life work of a man named Morihei Ueshiba, who we refer to as O-sensei, or great teacher, who lived in Japan from 1883 to 1969. So Aikido is a modern manifestation of the ancient tradition of Budo, or the martial way, in Japan. Morihei Ueshiba, with very intense training and being a deeply spiritual person over the course of his life, came to understand that the source of true strength is harmony with nature, and to align ourselves with the peace that exists as the whole. He went on from an illuminated experience after intense training to develop the techniques of Aikido, which have their antecedents in older martial arts that were based on destruction. But Aikido techniques are looking to connect with, heal, reestablish balance, bring back into order, restore, rather than win or have some kind of a destructive outcome. So Aikido is looking to end cycles of violence, not continue them. The way that we can go about this, we're going to be demonstrating. You'll see physical manifestation, but I want to say a few things that we're working with. One is centering, grounding, balance. If we can hold our balance in a stressful or violent situation, we have an opportunity to rebalance, where when we lose our balance, we're drawn into the fight-flight that continues that cycle. So the first part is hold our own center. The next is to expand. The name Aikido means way to harmony with life energy. Way to harmony with chi, or ki, the energy that makes us alive, that makes our earth alive. Harmonizing with that. So after we have grounded ourselves, we want to reach out with our energy, with our ki. And in a sense, we're reaching out to connect. That means reframing from the view that holds that something is against us, that something is our enemy, that the world is inimical to us, that the situation is such that we can't resolve it, but to choose to connect, whether or not the outcome turns out the way we would like it. We choose to connect with this life energy, and therefore have a chance to rebalance the situation. One more thing I wanted to mention before we get going. The basic life principle, we could say, is spiral. The form of our DNA, the way a tree grows. Spiral and wave, ocean waves, the form of a hurricane. So when you watch our techniques, you may be able to see we're able to connect with and bring into balance another force that started out as inimical to us, by using a truly natural form, by trying to come into the harmony with nature, the peace at the center of the whole. It may be an unfinishable project, but it's something that brings good things all along the way. So we hope that you enjoy our demonstration. And as we are doing our demonstration, I and Beth are going to share some words from the founder of Aikido about his art. The first poem of his. Oh, the divine beauty of heaven and earth, all creation, members of one family.
The secret of Aikido is to harmonize ourselves with the movement of the universe and bring ourselves into accord with the universe itself. Aikido originates with the flow of things. Its heart is like the movement of the wind and the waves.
Rely on peace to activate your manifold powers. Bring peace to your environment and create a beautiful world. Never defeated means never fighting. This is not mere theory. You practice it. Then you will accept the great power of oneness with nature. is not a technique to fight with or defeat an enemy. It is a way to reconcile the world and make human beings one family. Now is the time. Strengthen and restore the cords that bind heaven, fire, water, and earth. Come stand together with me.
Thank you very much.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for our next performance and speaker. We're so blessed, actually, to have had a great relationship with Julie Kajun. She's been working in education for probably 20 years or more. She's a citizen of the Confederated Salish and Kootenai tribes. In 2002, Julie Kajun received the Milken National Educators Award after working at Inkusum, the Salish Language Revitalization Institute, as the Director of Development and Teacher Supervisor for a year. She was awarded a $1.4 million grant from the W.K. Kellogg Foundation to continue work on the development and publication of tribal history materials. The Kellogg grant is based at Salish Kootenai College. In the fall of 2009, the Utne Reader profiled Julie as one of the 50 visionaries who are changing our world. So we'd like to please welcome Julie Kajun to the stage. She will be performing excerpts from her one-woman play entitled Belief. And after that, we'll have with us Terry Tanner. So please give a warm welcome to Julie Kajun.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Julie.
I'm going to share some of the beautiful writing of Jennifer Green from a play that we co-wrote called Belief. And I don't know if you'll understand everything because it's kind of out of context. There's actually a whole storyline, personal memoir about my mother and my great aunt, about Salish women and the land here and our relationship. And so I don't know how good a feeling you'll get for the piece, but I'll do what I can. This first piece is for David, who's standing over here. I'm going to take my shoes off. I wasn't going to do it, but I saw David, and so I'm going to do it for him. This was written by Jennifer Finley, and it is titled A Woman's Love. And love has a lot to do with healing, doesn't it? Sometimes things happen in our life and we never get over them. We may never forget them, but we go beyond them. And we do that through kindness, compassion, love, encouragement. And we discover that even sometimes after great loss, we can still experience joy. And so while maybe things never go away, and I don't know how you would define healing, what is healing? Some things happen to us that we just never, ever forget or get over. There are some losses that are so deep and so profound. But we hope that we don't give in to despair. And so I think it's our job to help each other remember that there's more to life, that there's still joy, that there's still beauty, that there's still kindness, and hopefully we still experience love. So this is for David, who's a very loving man, and it's A Woman's Love. I am love. I am a woman's love. My tears have borne children into this world. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what degrees you have or don't have. I don't care how broken you feel. I love you because I am a woman's love, And I love every sliver of you. I sing you love songs without words. There is tenderness in each loaf of bread I bake. There is magic in each bowl of my soup. There's a kiss waiting for your cheek in every slice of my homemade cake. You never said you were sorry for anything, but I forgive you. No matter how many times you broke my heart, I still believe in you because I am a woman's love. No matter how many times I was crushed with disappointment, I still believe in love because I am a woman's love. Sometimes I want you to swim across raging rivers for my hand. When the world is chaos and in a state of disaster, I want you to piece together all that is strong inside you and call my name. I want you to do the courageous thing and reach for me, because loving is the bravest thing we will ever do. The rivers give my arms strength. The moon weaves its beauty into my hair like spider webs. These mountains kiss my dreams with magic. Deer, geese, and bears bless me with songs. The wind breathes holy medicine into my body when I run. This land has courage because it loves me. This land has been faithful to me even when I have not been faithful to myself. We must remember what loves us, and we must be brave enough to reach for love, no matter how long it's been. It's never too late to love or be loved. If you want love to find you, then love will find you. Love will float through your open windows when your eyes are closed. If you want love to find you, uncurl your fists and reach for rivers. Let the currents wash away any voice that says you are not worthy of moonlit songs. Let's forget where we've been. Let our hands be reckless. Let our mouths taste what is sweet. Let our feet stumble into trouble. Let's let love wash us clean like summer starlight. Tonight, let us all sing without words. And let us love, because loving is the bravest thing we will ever do. I'll do one more piece that speaks about belief in the land and healing. And this is another piece by Jennifer Finley. You can be healed if you believe. Ask the water, listen to the trees, the rocks. You are never alone. What is the sky telling you? Salish women knew the power of prayer and solitude. They knew the power of facing their deepest fears. The mountains gave all our powerful women their gifts. Once these women were not afraid to be alone. They were blessed with the knowledge that they were never alone. Prayers matter. Believing is everything. Doing good matters. The world is our homeland. Because our ancestors believed, we are still here. Salish women are still here just as we have always been. Our ancestors beat in the green veins of our wrists. and the stems of purple flowers that bend under dancing feet. Ancient songs are in pine cones, waiting for fire to open them. There are love songs in waterfalls. Lovers meet in still, clear ponds. Learn to listen and see, and you will know what has always been here. Some people have given all of themselves for us. We give thanks for those sacrifices. Our voices, our stories, our hearts. Our great-grandmothers survived drought, famine, disease, colonization, broken treaties, and relocation, and we are still here. We are still here. Our lives mean something. Our stories matter. You are here, and you matter. Thank you, Lemlach. I'd like to invite Terry Tanner to come up with me, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of the work about healing land. A while ago, Terry started the Native Lands and Wilderness Council, and it's a gathering of Indigenous land managers who are taking care of the land and trying to protect the land, not just for themselves, but for our kids and our grandkids. And you know, all of the work that these people are doing affects us because we're all sharing air, right? The air is traveling around the world, so we're all breathing the same air. The rain is traveling. And so everything that's done on the other side of the world makes a difference on our side of the world and vice versa. And so we're gathering all these people together, and we're encouraging each other's hearts, and we're sharing stories of hope about making a difference and that the land can be healed too. Because it's not just people that need healing. The water, the land needs healing, and so that's the work that Terry's doing. The World Wilderness Congress is meeting in Salamanca, Spain next month in October. Spain is broke. The euro is going down and Spain is broke and the money went, and so the Native Lands Council wasn't going to be able to meet. And so on a thread of hope and belief and maybe a little magic, I sent a word out and I asked if people would support the Native Lands and Wilderness Council convening. And so some people gave very generously. And so Terry and I will travel to Salamanca, Spain next month, bringing T. Marino, who's Maori, Guy Neihu, who is Hawaiian, a young First Nations leader from Canada. And then we're going to convene with other Indigenous land managers and share story. So I'm going to let Terry talk just a little bit about that, but I just want to thank Rinpoche for the work here. I think it's so visionary, and I'm so happy that there is a place near me that is devoted to peace, that is open to prayers from everybody. And I always feel a blessing after I've been here. So I just wanted to thank the Rinpoche again, and Deb Hicks and the Iwam community, Jacob, everybody Chris, David, who've been so kind and loving to me and really supported the tribe in all of their efforts. So, yep, and Lemlach.
Rinpoche, Lemlach. I'm really honored to thank you once again this year, and to tell you that you continually have my support. Me as Upper Pend Oreille Kootenai person that this homeland, Salish person, this homeland is our land, and it's always good to have another religion be our partner here on our reservation. I really appreciate that, especially when it revolves around peace. It's so important these days to have peace projected out into the world. It's so vitally important at this time. There's going to be a very important vote that's going to be coming up in a couple of days, and I just hope that they look into their hearts and make the right decision. We do not need no more war on this earth. We need to heal this earth. So our tribal people, we have lived here for thousands and thousands of years, and through the generations, it's become me and Julie and a lot of tribal members our age to educate more people on how to protect and preserve this beautiful landscape that we live in. It's really hard because we have challenges of keeping good, clean, cold water for the fish and protecting the grizzly bear habitat, protecting our animals, our brothers and sisters, the animals. That is so vitally important to our culture. And this is a thing that we continually do each year. And it gets more and more important every year because there are so much more pressures that are put on our brothers and sisters, the animals. But I really appreciate Julie stepping forward and asking for funding to bring us to Salamanca. I have to go over there a couple days ahead of time because I'll be meeting with world leaders that deal with wilderness issues prior to the Congress starting. So I will really be pushing taking care of the earth in a really, really good way. It wasn't really, well, it was kind of my idea, but it was just instilled through my elders to become a good steward, good land steward, and to really push taking care of not only our homeland, but be an advocate worldwide. I have friends in Mongolia, I have friends in New Zealand, I have friends all around the world, and when you have friends that have the same conscious thought of taking care of this world and the environment, and if there's more people that can think this way, we'll all have a better chance of our grandchildren and great-grandchildren to live in a good, peaceful life. So is there anything else you need to say, Jim?
Say something, one last request would be to say something kind or loving to somebody before you leave here, or encourage somebody's heart. Mine is encouraged by your gracious listening, and I just thank you again for the opportunity to be here. Lam Lemsh.
Like John Lennon says, give peace a chance.
looks like a little deja vu, yeah. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for waiting patiently. That act right before we are going to get to starting here is a little sneak peek of Tara J. King, an LA-based singer-songwriter, and we'll be looking forward to seeing her set after we first have a couple of very personal stories from two very courageous women. First of all, I'd like to introduce Shakti, and she's going to share some very personal touching stories of transformation from tragedy to transformation. So please welcome Shakti Johnson.
Yep, thank you. Hi. 11 months ago, I lost my beloved son. He was 31 years old. He died suddenly and unexpectedly. It's been the most difficult and challenging 11 months of my life. It's also been the most amazing time in terms of teaching and insights. I couldn't have imagined these last months. I'm sure as I speak that you'll be able to identify with my loss. Perhaps you've lost a parent, perhaps a child, maybe a brother, a sister, maybe your uncle or aunt, perhaps your grandparents. Perhaps you're facing that loss now. Bodhi's death and the months that have followed have been very difficult. I'm learning how a new life is coming out of that density, out of that darkness, out of the incredible finality of death. When I was 15, my father, my grandmother, and my grandfather, who all lived down the street from me, all died suddenly and all within a year. I was deeply touched by their deaths and missed them terribly. Their deaths propelled me into a lifelong learning of life and death and dying. It's been an incredible journey with death as my constant companion, looking deeply into it, knowing it, befriending it. And I've realized since those years and since Bodhi's died that death and life are my greatest teachers. Thich Nhat Hanh says that studying death can help each of us become someone who has a great capacity for being strong and calm and without fear. Even though his words have offered some comfort to me, I'm not really sure if I've been strong, solid, or without fear. I've been incredibly surprised by the intensity of death and by the loss of my beloved son. When considering giving a talk on transforming personal tragedy and on what it means, it compelled me to look very deeply at each and every word and consider the meaning. After Bodhi's death, a number of people said that his death was tragic, that it was untimely, that it somehow shouldn't be like this. I thought a lot of that over the months and wondered about it. As I considered what they said and reflected on the Buddha's teachings, I was especially grateful for the teachings on impermanence and on change. He said, all that arises and is born shall fall away and die. Aging, sickness, and death are aspects of change, and that death will come to us all, that it's a certainty. And no no one can know when that time is. As I've thought of this over the many months, it has helped me to realize that Bodhi's death was not a tragedy, but rather life itself. Death is perfectly natural. The body wears out over time, perhaps a short time, perhaps a long time. It's only on conditions. No one knows how long that time will be. Bodhi's incompletes were complete, and his work was done. Bodhi's death certainly isn't a tragedy. Death is the culmination of life. It's flowering. Osho calls death the crescendo of life. To know death is to know life, and to know death is to know life in its entirety. You can't know one without the other. And it's only by knowing one do you ever know the other. I've also come to realize that I'm powerless to transform any of this. The pain and the grief and the suffering that I feel at times, if I could change that, I would. If I could change the reality of Bodhi's death, I would. And what I'm learning, rather, is to accept that which is, and to accept it with an open hand. That it's just like this. His Holiness the Dalai Lama has said that there is a saying in Tibetan that tragedy should be utilized as a source of strength. No matter what sort of difficulties, how painful experience is, if we lose hope, that's our real disaster. If I could transform the suffering and the sadness and the grief, I would. But I haven't been able to do that. I know I can't. I'm absolutely powerless to do that. Attachment and wanting things to be other than they are has created tremendous suffering when I realize that. And it's only in letting go that I've been able to experience some ease. It's only in allowing my heart to feel the pain and the sorrow and the grief that somehow the transformation is there. Grief is so unpleasant that at times I see myself wanting to escape, wanting to not feel what I'm feeling, wanting to be okay. The Buddha pointed to unsatisfactoriness, to dukkha, as the first noble truth. And in that context, he referred to old age, to sickness, death, grief, sorrow, and despair and anguish. When understood correctly, grief or any suffering is something to accept and befriend. It's not to be rejected or ignored. If one's reaction to suffering is always to reject or to push it away, no understanding is possible. No transformation or transcendence is ever possible. It's like we're stuck in that place. There's no way around suffering. You have to go through it. I've been able to see firsthand that grief is natural and conditioned. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It arises and falls away based on conditions. When it comes, I have only to befriend it, to know it as a reality, and to allow it to change on its own. And it does. Life is about being with the experience of the present moment, right now, whatever it is, how unpleasant it might be. Whatever the situation is in this moment, it's workable. And if I have any work to do, it's just to be present with that. Grief is the place where pain and love intersect. It's also the place where our heart opens. Grief conditions a more spacious, kinder, more compassionate, more loving heart. And for this, I'm very grateful. Death and the fact that life is impermanent and uncertain helps us to understand the incredible preciousness of this very moment. Only by being fully engaged and going directly into the pain or any other difficult emotion is healing and transformation possible. Only by knowing death can we know life. I quote from the Bhattacharya Sutta, An Auspicious Day. You shouldn't chase after the past or place expectations on the future. What is past is left behind, the future as yet unreached. Whatever quality is present, you clearly see right there, not taken in, unshaken. That's how you develop the heart. Ardently doing what should be done today, for who knows? Tomorrow, death. There is no bargaining with mortality and his mighty horde. Whoever lives thus ardently, relentlessly, both day and night, has truly had an auspicious day, so says the peaceful sage. Before Bodhi died, he and I had discussed building a house, and we were very excited at the idea of that. We looked for land, and finally we found some. We were getting ready to put an offer in on that property. And then he died, and everything changed in the twinkling of an eye. So I gave up the idea of building a house for Bodhi and thought that'll never happen. One day, as I was meditating, and out of the space of that place came the idea to build a pagoda here at the Garden of 1,000 Buddhas for Bodhi, to honor him, to honor his name. Kind of sat with that idea for a few days, and then I went to my family and discussed it, and they were very excited about it. So we came then, presented the idea to Rinpoche, and made the offering, an offering that we were very happy about. And Rinpoche graciously accepted our offer and has given his full support behind the project. And so now we will look where on this property to build a pagoda. It will be a place of refuge, a place where there will be Dhamma discussions and also teachings. So I invite you to join us in this incredible project as it develops, to honor Bodhi's name and to be a part of it. And I'd like to end with a quote from Ajahn Chah. If you let go a little, you will have a little peace. If you let go a lot, you will have a lot of peace. If you let go completely, you will have complete peace. Thank you. May the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha continue to support and inspire you and be with you on this incredible journey we call life. I hope you have an auspicious day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shakti, for sharing that with us. We have another very courageous person who's going to come up and tell you a little bit. And most of you who know Bonnie Tarsus know her as a weaver, an amazing weaver. But she's also more than that. She's an amazing person, and we're all really lucky to know her. But she's not going to talk to you today about weaving. Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. She's going to tell you about a personal experience of hers as well, which I'm sure you'll be very moved to hear. So please welcome Bonnie Tarsus.
It's pretty amazing to be here. Somebody walked up to me a few moments ago and said, "Are you going to talk about how you do your weaving?" It's more that I'll probably talk about why. Healing what can't be healed. In 1974, my daughter, Siobhan, 5.5 years old, was coming home from playing in Missoula and was abducted and sexually molested and murdered. I don't think I've ever, well, I certainly have never stood up and said that like this. Prior to that, I was one of those people who always had a joke and had really developed the comedy side of my being. And they say that comedy and tragedy are the flip side of the same. And I think that when it flipped from comedy to tragedy, somehow the gift of comedy helped to save me, because I could support the weight of the tragedy. But it was in the 70s, and it was, you know, what happens when the unthinkable happens? And at the time, I did not have any spiritual support. Probably the book that I most read was the Physician's Desk Reference. And so I used massive amounts of drugs so that I could just stay on the planet and not feel the pain. And finally, I got to the place where I knew that if I stayed in Montana, I would be another one of those tragedies that died that way. And I limped over to Seattle and fell into a lot of alternative healing modalities, and slowly but surely found my way back. And I don't know how that happened, except that I think that the weaving was always there for me. And then one day, I got this phone call from my friend Roberta, and she said, "You know, they're building this Garden of 1,000 Buddhas." This was in 2010. And that the Dalai Lama has accepted an invitation to come and consecrate the garden. And over the years, the Dalai Lama has been sort of my folk hero. I said, here is a person who lost in a way I can't even conceive. And yet here is a man who is happy. And if the Dalai Lama can be happy, I can be happy. And if the Dalai Lama is going to Arley, Montana, I could go to Arley, Montana. So now I'll talk a little bit about weaving. One of the things that I do is I take a person's horoscope and translate it into color. And so I had already in the past woven the Dalai Lama's horoscope as someone that I greatly admire. So I said to Roberta, oh, I will weave the Dalai Lama's horoscope and give it as part of a fundraiser. And she said, oh, that's great. But when are you coming to visit? And I said, well, what about August? And she said, oh, that'll be great. And then I said, well, here I've been weaving 50 years. Wouldn't it be really neat to take a loom to the garden, not having any idea what this place was, and I'll set up the loom and I'll weave the Dalai Lama's horoscope right here. And as soon as I said that, life started to change. And my landlord came and said, oh, I want to move back into my house. I couldn't find a place to live. And I said to Roberta, I said, hey, I have to move. I can't find a place to live. And she said, why don't you move back to Montana? And I said, oh, I couldn't do that. I mean, because there was so much pain and suffering that I had left behind. I just couldn't see that I could ever move back. And then I said, well, why don't I pretend for one day that I could? And you know that feeling when you fall in love? It was so visceral. It was so like that. I couldn't believe it. And I said, oh, well, I'll go and I'll weave the horoscope. And if I'm supposed to move back to Montana, then I will. So I asked the question, what happens when a Jewish lesbian weaving priestess goes to the Flathead Indian Reservation, to the Garden of 1,000 Buddhas, to weave the Dalai Lama's horoscope on Ramadan? So I moved back. But what happened was I didn't realize, I mean, I knew how much pain and suffering I had over the loss of my daughter, but I didn't realize how the community had been so deeply affected. And then by some stroke of chance, I found out that it was possible to sponsor a grove of trees here. And on May 21st, I dedicated a grove, and it's over by the Shakyamuni Buddha on the west, so you should go over and look at it. And May 21st turned out to be, was her 45th birthday. And also it was so interesting that the year before there was a wedding on May 21st here. And 100 people came, and I realized that my whole life was for that moment. And it was like everybody, my daughter, my mother, her murderer, all the people karmically connected were all surrounding me, and they were all cheering because I was bringing something to a close. And it was one of the most amazing moments. And one of the things I said was, every May 21st, I will be over at the Grove to see how the trees are growing, and that you're all invited. And so this is such an amazing place, and it's such an amazing vision, and I am so honored to be a part of the vision in some way. And that one of the things I heard that was that people who are dead never really leave us, and that if we're unhappy, they are unhappy, and it is our responsibility to be happy in our lives. And through weaving and through teaching weaving and Weaving as an intention of peace is in the name of right livelihood. When I came out here, it was just the statue and they were pouring the spokes. And I said, well, what are they? And they said, well, they're different. I can't tell you all the 8 ones, but there was one that was the spoke of right livelihood. And that I said, well, how much does it cost to sponsor the spoke of right livelihood? And they said, well, it's $30,000. And I said, well, I'm dedicating $30,000. It's not going to come in one check, but over the rest of my life, I will donate parts of my weaving to make this vision happen. And I know that my daughter's spirit is here. And I don't have any more words. So thank you so much.